In this video, we're talking posing techniques for men.
My name is Pi, and I'm one of the founders of Lynn and Jersa Photography and SLRLounge.com. We're teaming up with Adorama to bring you a new series of photography tutorials called Master Your Craft right here on Adorama TV. So let's dive in.
What's up, friends? My name is Pi, and this is none other than the David Suh. You might recognize him from such, well, really just TikTok.
Oh, yeah.
And all of his amazing work and all the things like that. So David is a fantastic photographer. He's blown up on TikTok. You have an amazing following on Instagram. And we actually became friends through TikTok.
Yes, we did.
So you do a lot of transformations and you work with a lot of women in your line of work, right?
Yes.
I thought it'd be fun because I've been getting asked quite a bit to actually do posing techniques for guys, and you just happen to be here, so I think we should do some posing techniques
Yes, sir.
for the guys. So here's what we're gonna do. I tend to want to explain this because people often think that posing techniques relate more to sexes, and in reality, they really relate to body language, okay? So it doesn't matter whether you are a man, whether you're a woman, it doesn't matter how you identify yourself. What matters is the feeling that you want to convey for a photograph. Now, if you're the person being photographed, then you make the decision up. But if you are deciding for your client, it's coming down to really knowing who your client is and then shooting for them. Side note, earlier you did a K-pop transformation of me, which these guys are gonna have to check out. It will not be going up on our channel, but it will be going up on your channel. So we'll link that up later. So I wanna walk through a series of steps, and we're gonna start with kind of the, well, typical standing shot of just my guy, okay? So the goal here in this body language is expanding presence. If we want to create more strength in a shot and kind of have more of this, well, I want to say masculinity, but the problem is that too much we define and attach these words to sexes, whereas rather I want to attach them to more like messages, like what do we want to convey? And what we want to convey is strength. So if I take a standing shot of David right here, and side note, I'm gonna use the EOS R with the standard kit lens because I really want you guys to be able to take this and relate it to whatever equipment that you have. In fact, I might even shoot this with just my iPhone so you can see that the principles apply regardless, okay? So here's what I'm gonna do. I really don't care about depth in this scene, and honestly, the kit lens isn't gonna give me much of that anyway. So what I'm gonna do instead is stop this down to about f5.6. I'm gonna shoot this at, let's go to 1/400 of a second. I believe right there we get a really good exposure on this entire scene. Let me just check out my, yes, we have a good exposure at 1/400 and f5.6. So this is gonna be our standard shot. Okay, now David is just standing with his hands right at his side, and my camera position is basically at eye height, and what you end up with is that typical kind of walk-up shot. Now, no message is really conveyed in this. And the first thing that I want you to do is whenever we want to convey strength, I want you to think, first thing, is that we can actually allow our subject to kind of dominate over the frame, okay? So what we're gonna do is actually move the frame down. So this positioning in and of itself is gonna make a dramatic difference because it allows our subject to essentially tower over the frame, and it gives them a stronger position in the shot. So watch this. I'm gonna take the same exact shot, and what you're gonna see is between the first shot and the second shot, there's already a dramatic difference in the tone and message of the image. Now what we're gonna do is actually move to the pose itself. Now with poses that we wanna use to kind of soften, to diminish, to create more delicate kind of a look, what we're generally doing is we're bringing the hips in, we're bringing the toes in, we're shifting hips, we're using the arms to kind of come across the body, and we're kind of shrinking down the frame and adding in a lot of curve. But with the opposite, when we're going for strength, what we're gonna do is expand presence. So I'm actually gonna have David start with his feet, and we're gonna go to step 2. Step 2 is to open up the feet. Okay, now watch, we're gonna take this shot again with just that. Okay. Awesome. This looks already that much better. Now step 3 is we're gonna move up to the arms and the shoulders. Now what I'm gonna do to expand that presence is I'm gonna actually have David pull the shirt back on one side, put your right hand into the pocket just a little bit. Yep, just right there. In fact, why don't you put your thumb in and let the hand hang out so we can still see the jewelry. Yes, okay. Now, so what we're trying to do is, let me take one shot of each of these so you guys can kind of see the difference. And I'm gonna adjust my final composition in just a minute. Okay, but I want you to see how each of these different adjustments are going to change the image. Now, right now, the next piece would be David's chest, and his chest is kind of facing away from the camera. What I want to do is actually turn him out towards the camera. This is gonna, again, kind of open up the chest, and I'm gonna have him add to that by rolling the shoulders back a little bit. And now you can turn a little bit this way, but not quite as much. So turn the chest this way a little bit, keep going right there. Perfect. Okay, we take another shot and we get an even stronger look to the image. Now moving up to the face, what I'm gonna do is, you guys have heard the expression of kind of looking down on somebody. Well, it actually has a body language kind of message where people in the past would actually look with their noses up and they would actually look down on people. I don't want you guys to do that, of course. What I want you to think of is from the point of the camera, this actually does work. So if I want him to have kind of a stronger and kind of just a strong presence over the frame, I'm gonna have him actually bring the chin to the right. There, chin up just a little bit, and then you're gonna kind of look down towards the camera. Okay, so with that series of tricks, I want you to look at the before versus the after, because it's an absolutely huge difference. Now I'm gonna simply adjust the composition a little bit. I'm gonna show you how this translates as well to a sitting pose. But first, let's see David's reaction. Okay, so here is the standing shot.
Okay.
Okay, here is
Ooh.
the final.
Ooh.
Nice?
Yes, sir. I look strong.
Opened up.
Opened up.
Looks good.
Yes.
So how would the same things apply if you were sitting? And again, no matter who you are, how you identify, the same things still apply. So if I'm coming down and I want a more delicate pose, I might bring the hands in and kind of sit more like this, right? So we might kind of cross over, we do different things. We would basically keep kind of closed up, and you would obviously not just do legs in, but you might change. I just don't want to sit down on the floor right now. But if we were to keep our presence strong, what we're gonna do instead is keep the legs open and come down, and we might even put a foot out more, one foot in front, one behind. We're gonna open up. I can't talk and actually balance at the same time. It does not work for me. Okay, so I'm gonna keep the chest up and expanded, and I'm gonna kind of do the exact same thing that I was doing. So we're gonna do that same thing. I'm gonna show you how it still works even with this type of a shot. Okay, same principles. I'm getting the camera down low. He's gonna look down towards the camera. Chin goes kind of up. We're gonna frame right here. That looks dope, dude. So all I'm gonna do is actually just move into a spot where we can actually shoot the final images. Now what I'm thinking is, I don't have depth to really use in this lens and camera, right? And that's good. Depth is one of those things that I feel like we rely on too much as a photographer. So instead, what I'm actually gonna do is use framing to kind of draw our attention into our subject. If I move just a bit to about right here, I'm gonna move David to this side. Keep coming right there. Perfect. Now, not only do I have, hey, you disappeared on me there. So now, not only do I have him kind of backlit by everything, but what I can do is actually lower the camera right below into this spot of shade. That's awesome. David, extend the foot out just a little bit. Yes. Chin up a little bit. Bring the chin to your left a little bit. There. Give me your badass looks. Mess with the chain a little bit. Change up the hands. I love that. David, if the photography thing doesn't work out, brother, you can model. Okay. So look at how cool this is. When you're looking at these frames, now the actual light is leading right into them. So the framing of the two buildings and kind of the structures lead right into them, and I love this. I'm gonna have them stand up here. We're gonna do the same thing. You guys are gonna check it out. So stand up again. I want you to kind of open up to the camera one more time, turn out this way, okay? We're gonna position the camera down low. I want you to turn the legs to go this way, towards ship. There. Now, there you go. Bring the legs a little bit closer to each other. Right there. Turn the chest towards me a little bit more. There you go. Bring the chin this way. There it is. Go ahead and play with the hands, move the hands a little bit. I love those, brother. Do one where you bring both hands in. Yes, just like that. That's dope, dude. All right, check out yourself.
Woo! Look at that
What are
light.
these ones?
Oh, that's so cool.
They're cool.
Dang.
Okay, so I hope this helps you guys out. So remember, in summary, I want you guys to start thinking about posing as less to do with the actual sexual identity of the subject that you're shooting and more to do with the message you're trying to convey, whether it's as a photographer or whether it's on behalf of the person that you're shooting. It's the messaging and the body language. Now, for kind of creating strength in body language, what we want to do is expand presence, right? So the first thing we talked about was lowering the camera angle. The second thing, moving the feet out. Okay, the third thing, we got up to the hands. We kind of shifted. You can shift back and forth. With the hands, you're gonna put them to the sides. You can do really whatever you want with the hands, bring them up. But the main thing is when you get to the chest, we don't want to necessarily turn completely away because that's gonna shrink someone's body. So we kind of open them back up to the camera. And then when you get up to the face, kind of looking up, kind of getting a little bit more of that angle and then kind of looking towards the camera. And that's really, all of these things are up for you guys to tweak. So tweak to your heart's content. We're done for this little shoot, and meantime, you guys need to go check out David, check out his channel. You just started up on YouTube, right?
Yes.
Check out his YouTube channel, we'll link it up. You guys can also follow him on TikTok, and that's it, brother.
Thank you.
More shooting?
Yes, sir.
More shooting, elbows. You know what? We don't even have our mask on. Fist bump.
Fist bump.
There we go. It's the same difference, right? I don't know how to end videos. It just ends up with this super awkwardness. Look, it's weird asking, but subscribe to the channel if you guys enjoy our content. Like the video, and I'll see you guys same time, same place next week. Peace.